The situation that is ongoing in Cameroon need a kind of special way of handling it. If not, it may metamorphose into a serious crisis and a conflict and probably escalate. Now, what Cameroon is facing is not different from what Kenya faced in 2017. There was an election in Kenya. This is the second time I'm saying this because I said it. And before the election, I said it that we risk going to a Kenyan situation, and we are in that same Kenyan situation. But the question is, how will our authorities handle it? And this is how Kenya handled theirs. And if we look at that playbook and how Kenya handled it, we can actually avoid entering into a very complicated situation. In fact, what Cameroon is facing right now is a kind of a ticky time bomb where if care is not taken, something may actually escalate. Why am I saying so? In the northwest and southwest region, there is an ongoing armed conflict, which is actually draining the coffers. The Cameroon government is spending more to station military to actually see how they can restore peace. As I'm talking to you, people are dying. Now, what happened is that in the north, there's Boko Haram insurgency. And what happened in Kenya in 2017 was that there was an election between Raila Amolo Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta. Raila Odinga is, of lesser memory, was the opposition leader. Uhuru Kenyatta was an incumbent. Now, when they went to the election, Raila Odinga claimed that based on the result that he has seen, he claimed he won the election. And he said Uhuru Kenyatta, who is the incumbent, had actually frauded. Now, during the official declaration of the result, the Independent Election Boundaries Commission, IEBC, of Kenya, which is a body mandated to declare the result, announced the incumbent Uhuru Kenyatta as the winner. Uhuru Kenyatta was declared the winner. What did Uhuru Kenyatta do? He celebrated. Raila Odinga was not happy. The difference between Kenya and Cameroon is that in Kenya you declare the result, and if you are not satisfied, you go to court. In Cameroon, you address electoral issues. If you are not satisfied, you can never go anywhere. So Raila Odinga took the matter to court, to the Supreme Court in Kenya, and the Supreme Court in Kenya studied the file, and saw that there was need for peace. The Supreme Court in Kenya nullified the election. Now, but this is what makes the situation almost the same like Cameroon, is that when the Supreme Court nullified the election, he asked that both parties should go back for another re-election. Chief Justice David Maraga was the head of the Supreme Court bench. Now, once that ruling was given, Raila Odinga, who was the opposition party, refused to go in for the election. He said the electoral code has not been adjusted, that they will go in for an election if the electoral code has been adjusted. And he also maintained that he cannot go in for another election again when he knows that he has validly wins the election, that he validly won the election. That is why he said he's not going for any re-election in Kenya. Now, Uhuru Kenyatta went to the election unopposed. He followed the constitutional procedure and he emerged victorious. When he won, the opposition again challenged the victory, they described it as unconstitutional and illegitimate. But however, the Supreme Court this time upheld that you did not participate and he participated, and the Constitution says 50.1% wins the vote, and he won 50.1%. Now, this is what makes the case the same like Cameroon. Raila Odinga refused to accept, and Raila Odinga called himself the people's president. And he actually had his people, whereas Uhuru Kenyatta had his own people. So there were two inauguration. Raila Odinga said he was going to inaugurate himself as the people's president, and that he's the president. Now, Uhuru Kenyatta had all the powers to arrest Raila Odinga, had all the powers to arrest Raila Odinga and his entire team. But Uhuru Kenyatta saw that arresting Raila Odinga and his entire team will further bring division of the country and further bring ethnic division, because it will feel like the Raila Odinga supporters will feel like their people or their tribe is being targeted. So to prevent him from sowing a seed of ethnic division in the country, he decided not to arrest Raila Odinga. To an extent that Raila Odinga went ahead and did his own inauguration as the people's president. He inaugurated himself. The same way the president inaugurated himself, Raila Odinga had a parallel inauguration. That is two inaugurations in one country. The president, William Uhuru Kenyatta, did not actually arrest Raila because he also knew that if he arrests Raila, he will lead to chaos. So what he did was, he allowed Raila, did his inauguration, and after a while, they engaged in a broad-based discussion, and they actually came and formed what is called a unity government, where Raila Odinga had and Uhuru Kenyatta agreed, and there was a unity government that was formed in Kenya in 2017, and that was how Kenya avoided political chaos. And in Cameroon, the question is, what are we learning from others? What should we do? I've explained how Kenya did theirs because Kenya avoided this situation. The same thing happened in 2007 in Uganda, in Mozambique. No, in Zimbabwe, rather. In Zimbabwe. The same thing happened in 2007 in Zimbabwe. Between Morgan Shangarai at the time and you have also Robert Mugabe. Morgan Shangarai claimed he won the election. But the institution or the different bodies that conducted the election declared that Robert Mugabe had won the election. But Robert Mugabe, Morgan Shangarai refused, the opposition at the time refused that Robert Mugabe has not won the election. He decided to call himself the people's president. There was tension. Mugabe had also grabbed power. But what at the end happened was that Mugabe saw that if he used heavy-handedness on Morgan Shangarai, he will bring political division and ethnic division. Remember that when you start targeting that people, you will target more of his people from his villages. Because most of his villagers will support him and people of that region support him. So it will be like this tribe versus this tribe. So what Robert Mugabe did was, he actually brought Shangarai together. They formed a unity government. Shangarai had control over the police. He, Robert Mugabe, had the control over the military. Shangarai was appointed prime minister and they ruled until the mandate ended. So I brought this out for you Cameroonians to see how you can solve your problem. Asante Nisana, Karibu.
Congratulations, you've passed your GCE or baccalaureate, and now it's time to choose a professional university that opens real doors to your future. Let us introduce you to the African Higher Institute of Technology, a career-focused institution that not only awards internationally recognized certificates, but also guarantees direct employment opportunities upon graduation through its solid network of partner companies and institutions worldwide. This school operates in collaboration with the Cameroon Ministry of Higher Education, UBA Bank, St. Francis Xavier Institute, Canada. Located in Yaoundé, Mendong, away from the noisy town, AHIT provides the following for its students: a free brand new laptop immediately after paying a registration fee of 25,000 francs CFA, free high-speed internet access on campus, hands-on professional training, mentorship from local and international experts, offering courses like local government in accounting, finance and administration, computer engineering, artificial intelligence, biomedical sciences, economics and finance, business and management, arts and education, law and public policy, agricultural sciences. Whether you dream of becoming a software developer, civil engineer, healthcare technician, or business strategist, ICT is your direct path to success. Apply now and take the bold step toward a future of innovation, professionalism, and global opportunity.